And those all the initial theories that people had are really becoming codified, for the ones that said this is a high value piece of information and the ones that are, very like non-valuable. And you can see that.
That is the new gold, as they say.
Yeah.
As Matthew McConaughey says. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So when you talk about static data versus now it's or dynamic or refreshed, housing it, traditionally people's understanding of whatever data they've given up might be, correct me if I'm wrong, just through applying for a credit card, applying for an Amazon account. It's your name, address, some of your likes, dislikes, maybe that type of data. Is that what you consider the static data that's historically
Yeah,
been
those are
claimed?
static. Yeah, Kurt Doty's not changing his name much. And
Oh,
infrequently does he change address or phone number.
okay.
And this is becoming a common occurrence for human beings globally.
Okay, so just to explain the mechanics. So we talked about the fact that you have the container, you have the data, you have 2 million plus users
Hmm.
on the consumer side who have given you their data or permission to use their data, or is that
This
customers?
is a very important nuance that you're talking about, Kurt. So good question. So Tartle, in this the fabric of our technology, exactly matches our patent, which is out there, and you could read it if you really want to get a nosebleed. Tartle has no ability to see your data. We have no ability to use it, move it, anything. We have no control over it. We wanted to make sure that at the absolute fundamental level, there was nothing that could perversely incentivize to use these things to our advantage. So we have designed the system so that people are self-responsible for their vaults of information. And when they put those things in there, they're the only ones that have access to it. And when that access wants to be permissioned, when we give them an opportunity and say, hey, there's an opportunity, we link those parties together. And so they can say, do I want to share these data points out of my vault to these people at this time for this price? Yes or no? And it's as simple as that. And so that's where that connection mechanism is. So what happens is consider it as self-vaulting. People aren't giving these things to us. We only opened up the bank, which people go in and essentially filled their deposit boxes, and we can't even see what they're filling them with.
Yeah. Are they getting a check? Are they getting something in their bank account? Because
That's
America.
exactly what they get. It's not
Okay.
a crypto play. It's none of those other things. These companies, these larger corporate entities are willing to pay cash. Now, the interesting nuance here is this. Tartle does not take any of that value from you. So, Kurt, if I came to you and offered you $250 for some piece of medical information from you, you get 100% of that value. Tartle then charges a service fee on top of that to the buyer. You can imagine in the future that somebody will build the technology on on top of Tartle is specifically dealing with, hey, scan this QR code. You can immediately ingest my medical record. It gives you everything that you need, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of those big unlocks. But yeah, and that's a lot of the use for where you see it in the healthcare industry.